It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for October 14th through 18th, 2024. I don't think we had any write-ins this week for the Port Charles pipeline.
That must mean everyone agreed with whatever we said last week. They can't even object.
Yeah, great. No Port Charles pipelines. This week we will be doing, what is it now? Part 4 of Lucky and Liz.
Is it 4?
Part 5?
I think it's 5.
All right, hold on.
But I could be wrong.
It's going to be part 5 of Lucky and Liz, part 8 of Lucky. And this week we did not have much Lucky. I was kind of really bummed out.
I know, but the Lucky we got was good.
It balances out with other ridiculousnesses.
Ugh. No, I hated the rest of the week. The Lucky that we got was good. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. There you go, guys. What? This show's 2 minutes long. Bye.
All right. I don't even want to comment on the rest of it. It's just so. Was it in the Hulu headlines? I actually had Hulu.
Oh, I don't know. Hold on.
Go.
So on Monday's Hulu headlines, Alexis's fate is determined. Dex offers an understanding ear. And I think they're going to do what we said not to.
No.
It was just stupid. Elizabeth opens up to Terry about Lucky. Rick shocks Curtis. Did he? And Brad makes a bold move. No, Brad did his job.
Yep. I liked Brad. I will comment on that too. I liked Brad and yum to Lucky, and the rest of it just stupid. Now I'm done.
On Tuesday, Ned makes a proposal to Drew. Michael is tempted. Brook Lynn and Tracy clash. Sam receives important news. Isaiah springs into action. On Wednesday, Brennan ambushes Anna. Elizabeth and Portia are puzzled. Jordan and Isaiah go to dinner. Sasha makes a request of Michael. Tracy has words with Cody. And then on Thursday, cutting out a day there. Thursday, Rick plays dirty. Holly has some explaining to do. Sasha gets life-altering news. Dante and Sam are relieved, and Tracy offers her assistance to Cody. And then on Friday, Felicia encourages Holly. Laura and Tracy discuss their past. Ned comforts Brook Lynn. Tensions flare between Molly and Christina. And Elizabeth updates Lucky. So where do you want to start?
I'll start with Brad, because we can start with Brad because I liked him, and then we can end with Lucky because I like him, and everything in between is just crap. We saw Friday that Brad said, "Oh, Dr. Robinson, what have you been up to?" Right? That was like a Friday.
Last Friday, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this week, we see him continuing in the lab and being smart enough to make copies of what he sees, and then going to Portia and being like, "Hey, so I just wanted to let you know I'm doing my job super thorough. Want to make you proud. Happen to come across this. What would get your most approval if I put this up the chain of command or if I just leave it as it is?" And she was like, "Oh, what'd she say? Only offer the police what they ask for. Do not give your unsolicited opinion on anything." And she will just happen to tell Terry that his trial period is over and he is now a full-time employee and can have whatever hours he wants. And he was like, "Oh, so nice talking to you."
And then gives her the paper for her records. Oh, and don't worry, I still have my digital copy.
Exactly. And then she rips them up like that does anything. Like,
right.
At least put them in the shredder. What are you doing? But And before that, we see her tell Curtis what she did, and he's like trying to be the supportive husband, like, baby, we'll figure it out. But his face says it all. He's like, you're just so stupid. I told you to leave it alone. What are you doing? And then she's like, oh, yeah, and Ava knows. And he's like, okay, I don't know what else to
Right.
tell
After
you.
she gets his support, the second that
Yeah.
she said that, he's like, wait, what?
It's like, I'm not sure how to help you. And so that's whenever, what did the description say? Rick shocks him.
Rick shocked him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Rick shocked him, but Rick was like, yeah, so I already filed the paperwork for Heather, and basically whatever happens, happens. We had enough proof from all those blood tests that everything is good on her end, and she may actually get out now for time served once the hearing occurs.
Well, it can go one of three ways. It's either going to be, oh, I wrote this down. He said that she will get her day in court. She could get a new trial, she could get a reduced sentence, or she could be given the option of a plea of manslaughter and possibly be released with time served.
Right. And they both agreed that they did not want her to be tried again because no one could go through another trial.
When Portia alleviated his concern by saying, no, Ava loves our daughter too much. She wouldn't do anything to hurt her. How about you love your daughter as much as you say you're doing? Because Trina is not going to be okay with what you did.
Nope.
And and then Curtis saying that she's not going to lose her job or her license. And she's like, even if I do, I'll be fine.
Right.
She's not the martyr she thinks she is.
No. And if I was Curtis, I would be angry. Like, not only did you do something that's so totally wrong, and Trina's going to be upset by it, but like financially for our family, you're a doctor. I'm sure we needed your income for something, and you just risked losing it because you thought you'd switch some results. Like nobody else was going to notice that. Like again, you're just stupid to think that they're going to run one copy of such an important test and take that as is when you yourself have said, oh, mistakes happen, blah, 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 blah. Like nothing's 100% in the lab as much as we want it to be. There's no important test that they only run one time.
Right. And in her position, I can understand where maybe, actually, I feel like even a new grad wouldn't make the mistake regarding technology because, well, I do think even though like our kids have grown up with more technology than we did, I still think that there's a great false sense of privacy that
Yes.
they're not being watched or tracked as much as they think they are.
But I also feel
You
like with
think
a
that the
job,
co-chief of staff
yeah,
knows from top to bottom exactly how the security of all the different computers and the labs and like they know that stuff. So she
right.
should know it's going to track that I even entered that room the day that the lab results were changed, let
And
alone accessed that specific file on the computer.
mm-hmm. And as an employee, even if you didn't know that ahead of time, like when you're on your own personal computer, you may not realize that as much as tracked and that people can access that, even though you think they can't, blah, 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 blah. But when you're at work, like you're told that. I remember getting my job at Citizens back in 2003 and then being like, hey, I know we live in Pittsburgh, but don't be looking up like the Steelers bank accounts because we can track what you're looking at and
Mm-hmm.
you will get in trouble for accessing files unless you have one of them on the phone and they're calling to ask a question. You cannot just go accessing bank accounts. So if we were being told that 21 years ago, Portia being chief of staff should know that these medical records are absolutely being tracked with login. And you have a password you have to enter or a badge you have to scan. Like, why do you think you have to do that if no one's keeping track of it? It's just beyond ridiculous. And the one thing that, she may act stupid, but she's always been a smart person. Like, we've never questioned her book smarts, her smarts in the way of the hospital. Like, she is co-chief of staff for a reason, but yet you didn't realize it was going to flag that you logged into that account.
Right. So, I mean, I'm over the whole thing. It just needs to stop.
Yeah. We need to find a different direction for Portia because I'm over this. And I know you'll protect your kids at any cost, and Trina is still young, but like Trina is an adult
Right.
and she's already expressed to you, I'm fine with whatever happens. Like, I'm going to trust the justice system.
Well, and especially where she does understand the concept of toxic material in the
Right.
body causing this is not being driven by Trina. Trina is perfectly fine. She is out living her life. She's not
Mm-hmm.
still at home. The thing is, okay, so I could almost understand if Trina were had become like agoraphobic and
Right.
hasn't been leaving the house and it is just like locked away and no, that's not
Mm-mm.
what she's doing. So, you're not doing it for your daughter. You're hiding behind that because,
And you should have something better to do with your life as well. Like, come on.
yeah, get a hobby.
Yeah.
Somebody get Portia a hobby.
Right.
But all right, let's just move on from that because it
Yeah.
was thankfully that was the only day that we had to deal with
Right.
her.
Right. So yeah, I was happy that Brad, and I felt like, I mean, obviously it's a jerky move if you're blackmailing someone, but he did it in the least jerky way. It was like, let's go to the
He's not blackmailing
privacy.
though either. He asked his boss what he should do with the information that he found.
Hmm. Okay.
He made it her decision.
He did. He did.
He let her
But
know.
it was still blackmail. So- but he still did it nicely. You're right. He took her into her office. He didn't like insinuate things in front of other people. He's
He
learned not
didn't
to have
run to
hallway
Terry, even though Terry
conversations.
asked.
Right? Exactly.
Now that's the
So
thing. That is the thing that I was kind of bummed out whenever he was like, "Oh, I just want to double check something." So I'm like, okay, maybe he's actually going to double check. No, he was going to Portia.
yeah, of course. So yeah, I was good. I was good with Brad. And I'm just done with Portia.
But she is letting the results be shared. So it's not like,
I mean, she has to. There's a court order.
yeah,
So
okay, what's
I don't
next?
know. So do you think Isaiah is trying to kill Lulu for some reason?
I don't know. I couldn't figure that out.
Because all anyone kept saying is those thingies don't just malfunction out of nowhere.
Liz did say though that they are technology, they are
They
machines.
are.
But yeah, you would think that something like that would at least have some kind of a backup, like a built-in
Right.
backup.
Right. But I didn't understand that
So,
either. Like it was way too convenient that Isaiah just happened to be there, which made me think that he did it. But at the same time, knowledge of a hospital, since you are a surgeon, you should know it sets off a bigger alarm. Did you really think no one was going to come running in to try to do something?
right.
So yeah, I just don't know. And I don't know
I don't
why
know.
he'd try to kill her.
Neither do I, because he really seems to like Lucky.
He does. And even if he didn't, like, what would killing his sister do?
Right,
It's not like she's a threat to anyone. She's laying in a bed.
right.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're confused with me because I wanted you to tell me that I missed something
No,
so I could
I
understand a
thought
little
I
bit
did
more.
too. Because I was like,
Okay.
why did he even go in to see her? Like he doesn't know her. Why did they allow him to go see her without somebody else there? He's
Right.
not family. He's not a friend. He's a stranger. What if she woke up and he were well, I guess he's a doctor, so I mean, it has the same risk of anyone being in the room that she doesn't know who they are. I was just thinking, if she has this guy just like holding her hand that she has no idea, but I mean, there's a good chance that when she gets out of a coma, she's not going to have
Well, she won't know her Uncle Silas or her
right.
Uncle
Cyrus.
Martin either.
I did like Martin and Cyrus arguing about their glow ups.
Yes.
I seem to remember a ponytail and some Italian suits. I found God.
I like that they called Martin out on his no accent, though. They're like, what happened? What are you doing?
Well, it was Laura too, because hold it. Where is it? They walked in. Oh, she was sitting with Lulu and she was just like begging her to hang on. And Martin came in and, just asks if she just wants to get up and like stretch her legs, go for a little walk, catch up with things. And, they talk about how Lucky's not a match. Martin lets her know that he was tested when he came back. And then Laura starts complimenting him, saying, you better watch out. Don't let Lucy see, how you've, cleaned up your face, you shaved and, whatever. And he said that but she was like, but you have to explain this transformation to me. And he said that he thought a new suit and a new haircut could go with the new him. And he even got a new sound. And she said that she noticed, and he said that he was tired of being asked about fried chicken, which I love because that shows them paying attention to the fan base, making the Colonel
Yep.
Sanders references all the time. I love that. But
Yeah.
he says that he also used that Ms. Finch, his vocal coach. And Laura said that she is happy to see the confidence boost, but she does love the old man too.
Yep.
And he apologized for not being there sooner. And that, that's when he asked if he could go see his niece before he left. And then we find Cyrus in there praying with her. And that's when Martin took him out into the hallway to give Laura and Lulu some time. And then, uh, but he did it under the guise of, I'm going to tell you something about our mom, which I kind of felt bad for Cyrus because we all know that Cyrus really, really struggles with not having his mother's approval.
Yes.
And so Martin's like, no, nothing's wrong. She's perfect.
I wonder what they're doing with Cyrus. Like he does just kind of pop in to annoy people and then he's gone for days on end.
I thought it was going to wind up being him that would wind up being a match because he said that he was making sure that she would be saved.
Yes. Yes.
I was actually really hoping for that one, that he was going to be a match.
Yep. It would have been nice if they would have changed their mind and done it that way.
Yes.
Because I hate this idea of Sam being the match. And that also doesn't make any sense because, like, really, she wouldn't have got tested back in the very beginning before they had to call Lucky. Everybody else got tested back then. Lucky was the last resort.
Well,
Because,
she
like,
said that too. She's like, all this time I've been here, Jason, the father of my child, risked his life to go get Lucky. And here I was all that time.
right. Even if you were hoping not to be the match, wouldn't you have got tested just to look good to your boyfriend?
I mean, I wouldn't do it just to look good for my boyfriend. I would do it to roll it out. Like, even if you don't want to be the match, you kind of can't change those results.
Right. But you would,
So it's
yeah, from the very first day, you'd be like, I'll get tested too, because
right,
that's your boyfriend. And
right.
you, yeah,
Well,
but
especially where, Rocco was probably definitely asking, or no,
right. Anyone and everyone.
yeah. So yeah, why she didn't do it for Rocco, let alone Dante, yes, but Rocco, I don't know. I just I'm not sure if the writers like the fans right now.
Right?
It's so here, let's just cover Sam real quick. That's basically it. Sam found out that she's the donor or
And that
the
was done all
match.
stupid too. Terry calls her and is like, can you come in? Well, oh no, is this about Christina? No, but I need you to come to my office. Why wouldn't you have told her over the phone? I need you to come in right now because you are the match.
Right. We need to talk
And
about your donor, or even just saying, oh no. Yeah, I would say saying that because even if she said we have to talk about your results, that could give a little bit of concern because you'd be like, oh my gosh, why is she calling me?
right,
Yeah,
right. But again, if you haven't had anything done at the hospital other than this testing, but yeah, I'm going to assume it's about this testing. So just tell me what's up.
right.
Uh,
But I did think it was interesting how, what was it? Liz got, okay, first of all, can we please get these people some text messages? Because I find it really hard to believe that lifelong best friends, Terry and Liz, have no previous text messages between each other.
nope. Mm-mm.
None. And I even thought about it, even as a work phone. Like, let's say that it's just a work phone,
Right.
the co-chief of staff is going to have previous communications with the head nurse.
Right.
So,
Just how it would go.
have something above it, just being like, can I get you a coffee? Like, hey, making a coffee run. Do you want anything? Bagels in the break room, something,
Yeah.
not just the
Yeah.
test results are in or second screenings done.
And even just if it was a work phone, it's just like a daily check-in. Like I feel like they would have to say, like, I just got on shift and double checked everything, like everything's good to go, completing my shift, whatever.
Well, probably
There's
not a text message. That's probably like an app. Still,
something that would have
yeah,
alerted them.
yeah,
But yeah, there's nothing. No one deletes their messages every day. And if they do, they're crazy. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I do not.
So
But yeah,
I
so
don't
then Sam tells Holly, or no, sorry, Terry,
yes.
that she does not want to tell Dante until she knows for certain that she is a match. So that's the other thing. Laura gets the news that there is a match. Liz comes and says, I think we found someone to save Lulu. And it's the same thing.
Yep.
And she even says that to Kevin. She ran to his office, said that they found a match, but they won't tell her the identity and they have to do the second screening first. So it's
Right.
like, why? We're right back to what was
Yep.
going on with Willow. Guys, we
Exactly.
literally just did the same storyline.
Yep. Yep. We should have learned from that. Wait until you have the final test results.
Right.
Like Laura didn't need to know anything about it till you had that second set of testing done.
Right. And then it's another thing if like day of something is off, like they have a high fever, they have
Right,
came down with a
right.
cold or something like that, then that's an entirely different thing. But to continually get these people,
All kind
get
of
these
false
people's
hope.
hopes up. Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah,
Um,
so then Dante and Sam tell the family, which I thought was really sweet.
it
And,
was.
you know, Danny asking Rocco, or no, like, and they talked about how they both prayed so much for each other's moms and everything. I loved that. And
Yes.
then poor little Scout, she's like, well, don't you need what they're going to be taking?
Right.
And Sam's like, yeah, so your liver actually grows back. Pretty darn
Right.
cool.
And it is very cool. And then Scout's like, well, all right, that sounds like a reason to have a party. Let's get a DJ and some yummy food. And I'm like, okay, calm down.
Yep. And Rocco thanked Danny. And that's the thing, like we saw Dante really struggling all week with I cannot believe that I basically promised my son his mom was gonna be fine and she's dying, and
Right.
Tracy said that. She's like, we're not allowed to say it, but she's dying. Like it's not she's just feeling under the weather. It's no, she's literally dying. We're just trying to make that not happen.
Yeah.
So
I loved that moment between her and Laura, though, where they sat and talked about, well, stood and talked about what a brat Lulu was. And Tracy's like, yeah, she's like her dad. And then she tried to say some nice things. And Laura was like, yeah, she was like her dad in those ways too. But you're right. She's a pain in the butt because her dad was definitely a jerk at times. And um, Tracy's like, that was the greatest gift was being able to help raise your daughter, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't understand then whenever Terry came over and was like, Laura, I need to talk to you, why it was like, oh, they needed to drag Laura over here and leave Tracy standing there. Like at that point, I feel like Laura should have said, Tracy is her stepmom. And like, we just talked about all this. So here, she can hear too what's going on.
right, 'cause I feel like Terry is the only person who understands HIPAA.
True.
But she probably didn't know about Lulu and
Right.
Tracy. Yeah.
I just feel like Laura would have said at that point, like, oh, you can
Right. Yeah,
discuss whatever in front of us, in front of both
exactly.
of
Like, nope,
us.
you can tell us.
Yeah, like whatever you say, I'm gonna turn around in literally 5 seconds and tell Tracy. So just I'll let you know.
Exactly.
But I'm
So,
kind of annoyed that they're dragging it on more. Like Terry's like, there may be a complication with Lulu. Again, Friday cliffhanger, so no specifics. But I'm like, can we just give this girl the transplant if we're gonna do it? Like, come on. She's
yeah.
been in a coma for all these years. Now she has this other issue that we've been talking about for weeks on end. Like, let's give her liver. Let's cure the cirrhosis.
I don't know. I'm struggling right now.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those times that it's going to be, man, we just got to power through this right now. But then we have Lucky. So it's like,
Lucky did like save the week. Like we said, Lucky and Brad saved the week, but the rest of it
yeah,
was just like dumb. So we have Holly. Like I'll just get to that because that was the stupidest thing
I
ever.
can't. I can't.
Holly shows up and
What the heck?
Felicia. Yeah, Holly. I'm sorry. Felicia walks in and Holly just happens to be reading the magazine. And Felicia's like, "Isn't that Cody so handsome? That's Mac's son." And blah 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 blah. And he just happens to, of course, fall in for that beautiful young lady next to him. It was so cheesy and ridiculous. And then Holly's like, oh no, I have to go. And she shows up at the Quartermaids and is like, Sasha, I need to talk to you. And then Sasha's like, Mother, but what? She's been there 2 or 3 other times already. And we've never, ever discussed the fact that that's her mom. Like, they haven't even looked at each other like, oh, there's a past there. Nothing
August
at all.
26th, 2022 to February 22nd, 2023. The hook was
Right?
October to November of 2022. Holly was in town. Brando died September 20th, 2022. I'm sorry. I don't
Right.
care if your estranged daughter's husband was brutally murdered, even if she didn't want to publicly acknowledge you, you would at least
Yes.
It's not like
Yes, exactly. Everything that your face is doing, our listeners can't see, but yes, exactly. You
when
had
I that's what I
something.
saw accidentally was, what do you think about Holly being Sasha's mother? And I was like,
Yes.
what? And then so I thought it was going to be maybe um Holly tells Felicia, you know, I think she's my daughter that I gave up for adoption and blah 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 blah. Like, okay, whatever.
Right.
And then Sasha somehow discovers that Holly's her mother, which I still think is stupid.
It is absolutely stupid. But I would have at least liked some mystery because the way it was presented to us was that Sasha could have maybe thought for a minute that Nina really was her mom because she didn't have a mom. And now it's like, oh no, wait, she did know that she had a mom. It was just a crappy mom. She was 100% in on this con. And
Well, Holly
so,
trained her.
yeah. No, 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 no. It's just all so bad. I saw the spoiler too. Somebody in one of the GH Facebook groups posted about like instantly before it even said that Robert was her dad, said so Holly and Robert are Sasha's parents. And all these people then commented and were like, we don't know that yet, blah blah blah. And I was thinking the same thing. I'm gonna watch it and it's just gonna be like these clues that you're like, oh no, really? But for her to just open the door and be like, mother, what?
And then to find out that she's been sleeping with her cousin.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have to do this? This makes absolutely no sense at all.
Who is the character Sasha like named after? Because whoever is on the writing team hates that person because all these horrible things
Right?
happen to Sasha no matter what. We finally give her
Sasha
a
didn't
nice
do anything.
right, right. Finally give her a new love interest that seems great. And not only is it not gonna work out, but ew, like ew. You just told me I'm hooking up with my cousin. Ew. I don't know. I
I
thought that
just,
Sasha was gonna leave whenever she went to the stables and kissed Cody, and then she was like, "I'm sorry, I have to do this" or whatever, and walked out. I thought she was like gonna leave town that minute and just be like, "I can't do this." And then she was like, "I'll make it up to you, I promise." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's not what she's doing." Loved the fact that she went to Robert, and Robert was like, "Let's not use a lab that all kind of people can have access to."
right.
Not gonna trust GH or any of that other stuff. I got my own guy for this. It's okay.
And he wasn't even phased. He's like, yeah, that's Holly. And then
Right.
Holly's trying to say that, well, she didn't tell Robert because her daughter was 12 and he had already gone through that with Robin. And Felicia's like, but Robert and Anna, was it Felicia or Maxie? Were like one of the two of them, right? Said,
Yeah.
but he and Anna get along well. Like once he got past the,
And he is a wonderful father to Robin, no matter what. Like, yes, he may have been angry that he missed out on those first 5 years or however old Robin was, but he instantly jumped into dad role. And especially if Holly truly had reason to believe that he was dead, you can't be mad that someone didn't tell you something because they didn't seek you out because they heard you were dead. Like,
that was my favorite though, when he's like, well, we both thought each other were dead at various times. So the length of our marriage is kind of questionable because
but yeah, you can tell me that you didn't tell me something because you thought I was dead. And as soon as you found out that I wasn't dead, then here you are on my doorstep, even if it's 12 years later.
right. Now, here's the other thing too, is you know what would have almost been better is if she was Luke's, that they thought she miscarried after he, because she was pregnant with Luke's, no, sorry, she was pregnant with Robert's baby. Why did she and Luke get together? No, Robert, quote it. She was pregnant with Luke's baby when he got stuck in the avalanche,
Mm-hmm.
and Robert took care of her, and then that's how they got together.
Right.
So it would have actually made sense. Let's say Sasha were.
Right. But wasn't
Why
that
didn't they do this? Why didn't they make Sasha Luke's that Holly and Robert decided to give up for adoption because it was too dangerous, because Luke was being, you know, chased
because
after and
wasn't
everything.
that Ethan?
So
Isn't that how we got
then,
Ethan?
oh crap.
Wasn't that the
Hold on.
pregnancy that we got Ethan from?
Is that the pregnancy we got Ethan from?
I thought so because I thought that's why we didn't know who Ethan's dad was.
Hold on. I wasn't watching when Ethan came.
Oh, okay. I think that's how we got. I think that's how we got Ethan.
January of 2009. Well, no, because then that would have made Ethan older than Lucky.
Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
uh, at first, no one knew who his parents were, but it turned out that he was Luke and Holly Sutton's son.
I'm looking at his
2000,
fandom
yeah,
because
2023, he got into a life-threatening situation when he was kidnapped again. Holly Sutton took the risk and managed to save him. After this incident, Ethan realized that poor Charles isn't safe and he left. Blah blah blah. Mm, I don't I don't know. I thought that was though.
but I feel like that wouldn't make sense because I know that there was questions over who Ethan's dad was because Robert also thought that he was Ethan's dad.
Right.
But Holly and Robert were together and when did Ethan come to town? 2009.
That sounds right.
Oh, Ethan appeared 2 days after I met my husband. I was busy, sorry.
You're being love struck. Too busy for GH.
Watching them though. Why don't I remember Ethan? Maybe I just don't remember Ethan. Like, I remember her lying. I remember her telling originally Luke's, but then lying and saying that he was Robert's, but then it coming out that he was definitely Luke's. But was it that he was Luke's from the miscarriage? Because that would have been in 1983. Is that when Luke was in the avalanche?
Mm-hmm. All right, so he was conceived during an affair that Luke had with Holly while married to Laura Weber. On October 16th, oh, that's this year, duh. It was revealed that Sasha is his half sister through Holly. Okay, wait. The writers tied Ethan to established characters Luke, Holly, and Robert with the question of whether or not he is Holly's son with one of the two men.
Right.
November 20th, 2011, rumors suggested, I don't know. I thought that's what it was. I mean, if Luke was still married to Laura, then he shouldn't have been involved with Holly, like everyone knowing that, right?
Hey, we did this. We did Holly's.
I know. We are horrible.
And there's people yelling at us right now going,
I know. I'm sorry, guys. Our brain is not working.
so anyway, my thought process was that if if we said that Sasha were that baby, then she could be the one to save Lulu. If Luke were her
Right.
dad. Yes. All right. So we're just gonna look at this real quick. Now I need ages. All right. So we know Nicholas is older than Lucky. Who's older though, Lucky or Ethan?
Oh, I don't know.
Lucky is 45.
They should be like the same age.
Ethan's 37, so that couldn't be the baby.
Okay.
But then neither could Sasha.
All right.
So,
well, I mean, they can always change numbers with that.
oh yeah, I mean, Lucky shouldn't be 45.
Right.
All right. We're not gonna drag this out.
Yeah,
It's too
we
dumb.
don't
We've
need
already
to.
given it too much
Sorry.
attention. No,
We have. You're correct. I just thought that's what it was from, but I could be wrong.
Sasha's 31.
I am
So
often.
31 years ago would have been like the early 90s. How many times have we thought that Robert was dead? Because that's the thing that she said that that's why Holly said she didn't tell her who her father was because she thought that he was dead.
Hmm.
So how many times has Robert died? He supposedly perished in 1998. No, wait. 1992. Hold it. So until February 1992, when he supposedly perished in an explosion in South America. So then that would fit with Sasha. We're gonna have to play with her age a little bit, but
Yeah.
she was born in February 1993.
Okay.
So if we just up it to, because that no one's pregnant a year. Let's say Robert even died February 28th, 1992, and Sasha was born the following February. That's not possible.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna put it however they want to, but yeah, I agree. I would have liked better if Sasha could have been Luke's and then saved Lulu than having Sam be the person and then having her be Robert's because Ew. Yeah.
They're making it really hard to be a fan right now. We've been through
I'm
this
telling you.
before. We know that we can come back from this. We know that we can.
I'm telling you. But this week was rough because they just put two things at the same time that was like, stop, stop, stop. And then Portia's stupidity on top of it. I
The
was
Sam
just like, I
thing is
can't.
the Sam thing is like a seriously, guys, you couldn't have done this before, but then we wouldn't have Lucky, and it's more understandable than this. This
True.
is
True,
just
true, true.
absolutely ridiculous. For whatever reason,
True.
Sam hadn't been tested yet. Okay. Blah. But
Right.
this
Right. But this
is
Holly stuff is
just
stupid.
all kinds of ridiculous. And like you said, why do they hate Sasha?
Right. I
What
did
did Sasha do?
love
She did not do anything.
She did not. I did love Maxie though, because she was not letting Holly off the hook. She was like, "Wait, wait, you mean my Sasha is your? No, I have been friends with Sasha. She would have told me that you were her mother." And she was like,
Right.
"Well, she's not very proud of that." And Maxie's like, "Yeah, I wonder why. What are you doing here? Like, this is just awful." She just kept going, and she was very nice to Felicia at the end, and was like, "Thank you for not being that bad of a mother, because Holly's just a new level of ridiculous."
Mm-hmm.
And then she went to Sasha and was like, "I'm your friend. You can talk to me. What do you need?"
She's like, I
So that
guess you
was
know who
sweet.
my mom is.
Yep. That was nice. I like Maxie having girlfriends again.
You mean not Sam? Her
I was gonna say,
her
although
best friend, Sam?
she should be torn between spending time with Sasha or going to the hospital to be with Sam, because they are BFFs.
I did like that Robert did bring up. So you never acknowledged Holly as your mother the past 2 times she's been in town since you've been here?
Yep. And she
I don't
was
know.
like, "No, because I don't like her."
There's no reason. There is no reason for this.
No, there's not. Again, it would be different if it was like the Lulu situation where we needed to twist this all crazy so that we ended up with a donor for something. But the only reason that we're doing this is to make Sasha miserable again.
Do you know what would have been awesome that they should have done? Has anyone called Valerie?
Right?
She's
Right?
Lulu's cousin. Did Valerie get tested? We could bring Valerie back.
Ugh, Sam would be not happy about that. Keep Valerie away from Dante.
Well, there's that. But, Lulu and Valerie were able to work past that, and that's more between the two of them.
Yes. Yeah, they
So,
should. I mean, they said that Ethan got tested, so they should have asked Valerie to get tested too. You're right.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think what else even happened this week. I'm just so over it after
I
this
just know.
thing.
So, like, that happened right before we were going to a dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking around like just in the kitchen and stuff, and Erica was in there. I'm like, so they just gave Robert another kid. I'm like, supposedly he had a baby with Holly Sutton. I'm like, because that needed to happen.
Poor Erica. She's like, "Please stop. These aren't real people, remember."
She's fully well aware. She knows who Robert is and stuff,
I
but
know.
it's
No,
yeah,
I know. But still, our outbursts are a lot for some people at times.
it's
Uh,
okay. Yeah. There's nothing to say about it. I just
right.
seriously feel like
Oh, no, the other stupid thing this week was that we keep talking about Finn getting out of rehab. Finn's getting out of rehab. Finn's getting out of rehab. And then out of nowhere, we're like, "Oh, hey, Violet." So Finn got out of rehab that
yeah.
we were led to believe was relatively still close to Port Charles because Chase drove him there. But he got out of rehab and flew to Seattle for a job, has an apartment, has like how long has he been out of rehab?
I'm wondering if he's working with some kind of like a transition program to help get him set up. That's something that I was kind of wondering about. Is he working with a coach or something that's going to work with him one on one in building a new life? And I understand his wanting to get completely away from Port Charles, get away from like just to start over fresh.
Um, I understand that too, but I still think that Finn cherishes his family and he just lost his dad, so he'd want to be close
Yeah.
to Chase, and he knows that Violet would want to be close to close to Chase. So, like, let's go get a job in Nixon Falls. Okay,
Mm, true.
we don't have to move to Seattle. I'm sure there's another town that is maybe only 40 minutes away or something that he could have got his fresh start. Then Seattle, like, come on. So I don't know. And are
I
we
do
just gonna
like that
find
Gio's the one helping her pack
he
and
is very
everything.
sweet.
And, He's like, well, I've been to a whole bunch. I do love that her first thought was, oh my gosh, new school, no Garth.
Yes, yes. Yeah, Violet will adjust fine. It's everyone else that is going to be so sad that she's not there.
But she keeps saying she's going to come visit her new cousin. Like, is
Yep.
she like a dog that can tell someone's pregnant before
I
before they
I
know?
I bet. I bet the way that they do it is that as soon as Violet leaves, Brooklyn ends up taking a test because, in my opinion, she's been a little extra emotional like these
That's what I
past
was,
few days.
yeah.
And so then she's going to take the test and it's going to be positive, and then we could be happy until they decide to do something horrible to her baby because no one's allowed to have babies here anymore.
I'm so glad that she brought up how hard it was for her to give away Bailey
Yes.
Lou. Like that hadn't even been in my mind because that was,
Well, they let that storyline die too. It was supposed to be that her working at Deception was perfect with Maxie because right down the hallway was
ah,
the daycare center that Bailey Lou would go to. So they would both get to check in on her. And they've absolutely not continued her relationship with Bailey Lou. Like, why are
yeah,
Maxie and Spinelli and Brooklyn and Chase not like hanging out together all the time?
right, yeah.
I don't understand.
Hmm. Hmm. We're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, that's because we're so emotionally scarred from this week.
I just, I don't know how I feel. I feel like I watched two completely different shows
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what's happening. Like,
Right.
why are we doing some of this?
Yeah, I don't understand any of it.
Oh, and Felicia, Maxie said that Sasha would have shown up as a match. And I was so proud of her for saying this one. Sasha replaced her hair for Cody's in the DNA test that Felicia did. And Felicia told Maxie hers was done on percentages, or hers was done as a yes, no, not on percentages. Nope. I looked it up and there is no such thing as a yes, no paternity test. It is
Mm-mm.
always percentages.
Right.
And keep in mind, it also did not pick up that, you know, the hair came from a female.
Right.
So Felicia needs to find a new lab to be running her stuff through. But I did like all the pushback. That's the thing though, like they've put some thought into things that we're going to be saying and they're addressing them,
Right.
but not these big ones. Like,
Why? Just
why?
why? Just why? So bad.
It's just, and then Sasha said that her mom left her with that Vickers guy in Landview. So, and she
Yeah.
almost died, or she would have died. Did she mean like romantic with this David Vickers
Mm.
guy?
No, David Vickers is way too old for her.
That's what I'm saying. Or is that was Holly with him
I'm assuming that Holly was with him
and then
and
just bailed on her kid?
yeah, and left her kid with her like stepdad or whatever. Because yeah, Vickers way too old for Sasha. At least anyone that I'm aware of in the Vickers family.
But then the crazy thing is when I looked up who this guy is, it's Tuck Watson. It's the guy who played Dorman
Mm-hmm.
on General Hospital.
Yep. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
So
how they're
there's an
linking that all
article
together.
from soaps.com from Thursday. You're going to want to sit down to read this, General Hospital fans. The week of October 14th, ABC's daytime drama at last told us Sasha's origin story, and it's a doozy. No, we heard her origin story from her.
Right.
Apparently, Sasha is the daughter of Holly Sutton and Robert Scorpio. When the former face of deception was born, Dad was, quote, dead, and upon his resurrection a dozen years later, baddies were in hot pursuit. So rather than introduce father and daughter, Holly kept Sasha away for her safety's sake. Once the initial danger had passed, why didn't Holly inform Robert that his and Anna's daughter Robin had a younger half sister? For Holly, she feared that she'd be rejected by the love of her life. Funny, Holly, this has nothing to do with you. This is about your daughter. But
Right.
here's that. So she told him so long that surprise, he had a 12-year-old. Sorry. It gets worse. Holly also got Sasha mixed up in countless cons growing up, and when eons ago Holly went to bail out Ethan, her son with late Luke Spencer, she dumped Sasha in One Life to Live's Landview with David Vickers, is what it sounds like. There's more. And now you're going to want to follow closely because there are because things are about to get even more confusing. Sasha knows about Ethan because she even said, she's like, Ethan's always in trouble. So,
Right.
so like, does Ethan not know about her?
Right.
Which makes it seem like Lucky should know that his half brother has a half sister, but it doesn't sound like he does. It's also a bit of a head scratcher when you think of the backstory, the back to the storyline that followed Robin's quote death in 2012. Robert was so suicidal that Luke lied that Ethan was his pal's son. That's right. That's right. And that was on the footbridge. But if things were that dire, wouldn't Holly have piped up to say, Darling, not to worry, you have another daughter? There is, as always, the possibility that Holly is telling tales as part of a con. And we can only hope that that's the case, because if she isn't, heesh, that would make Sasha and Cody, the son of Robert's brother Mac, kissing cousins.
No.
No,
No.
there's too
Yeah.
many no's.
Yes, no.
Just no.
All right. Was there anything else before we get to Lucky saving our week for us just because he's so darn cute?
Yes, so Cody found out that Serenity is for
Oh,
sale
yes.
for a cool $6 million, and Sasha encourages him to still call a realtor. No,
You don't want me to call you about my interest in a $6 million estate?
no,
But
do not do that.
if I really want it, I'm gonna just make it happen.
First of all, typically properties in that price range, you actually have to submit the pre-approval or proof of funds prior to even
I
scheduling a
would
showing.
freaking hope so, because
Yeah,
that's absurd.
do not be looking at properties outside of your price range. Period. End of sentence. Get pre-approved first. It is a realtor's job to bring a ready, willing, and able buyer, meaning that they are able to purchase the property they are seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just loved that they just kept saying over and over again, if you really want something, you'll make it happen. I would really like some of the beautiful estates that I see on different listings. It doesn't matter how much I really, really like them. I don't know how you go about making $6 million, or I would have done it for other purposes way beyond this.
Well, and then she also mentioned that they do virtual tours. So I'm like, okay, maybe the realtor does have like a video link, which actually should be publicly, like
Right.
a beautiful video, because a $6 million property, especially a horse farm, you should have. I mean,
Absolutely.
I get professional photos, including drone for $70,000 properties. If I get a $6 million listing, we are doing a video of that
You're right.
property and we are
Right.
going to be talking about it, and things like that. But do not make the realtor go on their time to video show you this property you can't buy.
Right. Right.
Can't. Lots of things.
No, I felt like it was so ridiculously absurd because I know some things from hanging out with you and our other real estate friends, but even without any of the knowledge I have from you guys, yeah, you don't call up a realtor and be like, hey, I want to look at this property that is outrageously beyond anything I could ever get approved for just because I've loved it since I was a child, and expect them to be like, sure, what time can I pick you up?
Right, right. It's mm-mm. Nope. Nope, 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 nope.
No. But so we're
And for
thinking
safety
Tracy.
purposes, we don't drive our own clients.
Yes, that's true. Back in the day, you guys used to. Maybe you, not you, but it
It
wasn't allowed.
was talked about, yeah, but
It wasn't
no,
allowed thing.
safety,
I
heck
remember,
no.
yeah, when we were shopping for the house that my sister lives in now, but it was originally my mom's back 100 years ago. When I was pregnant with Matt, yeah, the guy we met at the office and he drove us around. So, but anyway,
I'm sure something happened.
oh, I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
you just need to be safe. So,
Mhm.
uh,
But I do love his idea of turning it into a horse sanctuary.
yes,
Oh,
yes. And maybe, if he had more time, he could have got some type of funding for that. But again, it's not going to happen tomorrow. So I'm just assuming that Tracy's just going to buy it for him and tell him that he can start it as a business and then pay her back as time goes. Because
well,
she
because
like,
Sasha went to Michael first
ugh,
and asked for money because she said to Cody, why don't you ask Tracy? She loves you. She likes you. And he's like, no, because so many people take advantage of her for her money. And I don't want her to think that that's why I'm friends with her. So Sasha went to Michael and Michael said no.
Yeah.
without even, I mean, he did ask for a business plan, but instead of saying, well, that sounds interesting, you know, let's get
I can
together with
understand.
Cody, let's talk about this, let's go see the property because Michael can provide that proof of funds.
Right, right. I can understand if he would have said, I don't invest in things without knowing that the person I'm investing in like has a business plan and whatever. But he was like, he said no first, and then he was like, does he even have a business plan? Like it was just absurd.
Hmm.
Not nice. But it was very sweet, the moment between Cody and Tracy when she was like, why are you so dumb? Why would you have Sasha go ask Michael for money? Why didn't you just come to me? And he was like, no, I didn't want you to think that I was your friend just because of the money that you have. Like, I've heard people have taken advantage of you before, and that's not what I'm about. I just love this property because it was my mom's, and I remember growing up on
Yep. And Tracy's like, oh, so the staff's talking. And he's like,
it.
well, I heard that Ned's dad was a fraud who swindled you out of a ton of money. Dylan's dad used you. There were some mafia guys involved in there. And then this guy named Mitch Williams. And she's like, okay, okay, stop, 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 stop.
Right.
But then she reminded him, all Finn wanted was to play get backgammon, and Gregory never asked for anything. And he did apologize. And she was like, however, the biggest scoundrel is the one that became the love of my life.
Yes.
And, I think that it would be nice if they maybe help him identify how to get the money. Because he even said if he gets it, it's going to be on his own, not because he borrowed money from a very good and important friend. So I was really glad
Right.
that there was like, I did not like Tracy putting Sasha in her place.
No.
No, but
And the way that she talked about Sasha, period, like even whenever she saw Holly there, which like was not an important part of any storyline, but when she was like, "What are you doing here?" Blah blah blah, and how could you possibly have an issue with my staff? Like she just says it so, and that's not how they were. Like when Alice and them were around, they did not regard their staff like that. They were family.
I think Tracy might be struggling with how much everybody adores Sasha. So, I mean,
No,
I don't know. Well, and that's
I
the thing,
don't
like
agree. I mean, I agree, but I don't accept that. Like, no, still be nice.
Holly couldn't accept that she's not working a con. She's like, so you just cook for them? Do you do their dishes?
Yeah.
Okay, so what else? So Serenity. Oh, Drew was finalizing his fundraiser information, and Willow had to bring Michael his keys, and da,
Oh
da, da.
yeah.
And Ned
Yeah, we
walked in and
saw.
was like, "Excuse me, am I interrupting?"
Yeah, and then we saw
And
Ned
then,
meet the dog lady and give her money to investigate.
okay, you're trying to hide it, so you walk away with your coat jacket open to the parking lot, pull out this envelope of cash, go place a big yellow envelope on a white car, and then
And
she
she picks it up
immediately
and
picks it
thumbs
up.
through it. Yep, immediately picks it up and like thumbs through it, like, oh, okay, this is enough.
Like, come on. Stamp, I don't know. But I did like when, so they're working on getting Valentine's shares, and Ned suggests that they pass them to the next generation of Quartermains, including Leo and any future children that Brook Lynn might have, and that he'll vote their proxy until they're of age. And he called Drew out on, well, I thought you would want to have this tied up as quickly and neatly as possible, considering your history with the FCC before you win your election.
Right.
And then he goes and tells this Elaine PI chick that she thinks that Drew is having an affair with Michael, his nephew's wife. And she's like, well, how do you know? And he's like, I got it from a very reliable source.
It is very cute.
5-year-old, but still
Yeah.
reliable. And then when he sees Olivia, because Olivia had just been working with Brook Lynn because Brook Lynn was upset because she get overheard Tracy on the phone with an attorney threatening to sue the school.
Mm,
And Olivia sat her down and was like, listen, I really think a lot of this is because, she loves Finn. And so she'd do anything for Violet, but also there's nothing she can be doing for Lulu. And Tracy protects the people that she loves, like in the fiercest ways. And then Ned came in and he was like, I can't believe these two are trying to shut me out again, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, so here's the deal. I'm handling everything. Like I am holding together all these little parts. I love you. I cannot handle this right now. And he's like,
right.
yeah, I really don't know how. And he said it lovingly. Like he really did. He didn't seem hurt by her saying that. And I was so happy for her to say, like, that is such a healthy relationship where she's like, dude, like, I can't do this right now.
Yes.
Can you handle it? And he's like, yep, I can. Bye.
Yep.
And because Brook Lynn was hurt thinking that Tracy was undermining her, and that's where Olivia was kind of ironing it out. But then Olivia goes to Tracy and says, hey, you need to quit doing this to Brook Lynn because, you think you're helping, but it's really kind of causing more hurt on Brook Lynn's part, even though she might not be showing it.
Right.
And Tracy kind of broke down to Olivia and said, she feels helpless. She hates it. She can't help Finn. She can't help Lulu. The daughter of the love of her life is dying, but no one wants to say that out loud. So all she can do right now is threaten a primary school and hand out pudding cups to toddlers. Oh, because she had to get a vanilla pudding cup to balance out Ace's chocolate pre-nap pudding cup.
That was cute.
I do like the vulnerability that they're giving Tracy.
Yes, yes.
Jordan and Isaiah had dinner, and Jordan forgot that she was ever a kidney transplant recipient.
Yeah. Because that's something that slips your mind. Oh, now that you mention it, I've done that before too. Yeah, I got a kidney.
So how do you make sure that the body is going to accept it? Medicine, what was it? Like medicine and lots of it or something like that?
Yeah, he was like, there is no way to know for sure. I would think you learned that when you got a kidney.
Right? And she goes, science. Like she's never heard of it before.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, oh my God, please tell me what that is.
Oh God. Why are they making these women so stupid?
And then was it prior to that? When did he and Elizabeth sat down and talked about, okay, I think my husband is the one cutting the grass right now. If
Oh
you hear that.
no. Come on. I can't hear it, but come on,
Okay.
JD, you know better.
So, what was I saying? Oh, Isaiah and Liz were talking and they gave like a little bit of a history of donor donation,
Mm-hmm.
like transplants because, what she said something about like we really take for granted how accessible it is now, but it's not always as easy as you kind of think it is. And he's like, yeah, even after 50 years, it's still miraculous. And then they talk about what a loving gift it is for somebody to say, here, have part of me.
Right. No, it was very nice. And then
Yeah.
we hear them. That's whenever Portia walked up and was like, Isaiah, it was so nice of you to save Lulu's life, but you're not on staff here. Don't be doing those things.
Hmm.
Over
Oh, and then
her.
Brennan called a meeting in Anna's office for Jason and Anna.
I'm over that too.
And he's like, did you guys bring anything back with you? Because the pilot that I hired to rescue you was just found murdered and his hangar was ransacked.
And if we had stolen something of value, we're obviously not being honest. So why would we walk into your office and be like, oh yeah, I forgot to disclose the fact that I stole those guns, diamonds, whatever.
Right. And then they're both basically saying, well, what about Holly?
Right. And again, we all know that Holly is a thief, so why would we not go there first?
Yep.
So dumb.
Oh, and Diane tells Robert, oh, well, yeah, hold it. So Alexis went to trial. We had
Oh yeah.
an emergency
That was
hearing.
this week. Oops.
We had an emergency hearing where earlier in the week, Rick and Liz were asked to go to the PCPD to identify the gun.
Yeah, and like always, he's a slime ball and is like, I mean, I can't really be sure. Well, and Liz is like, would you just shut up and say, yes, that is the gun? Like, why are you
Right.
such a jerk?
She's like, remember our civic duty that you literally just told me about like 10 minutes ago?
Mm-hmm.
And so the judge decides that there is not enough evidence to charge Alexis. And
Right.
so she is freed.
She
And
is free to just deal with drama with her daughters the rest of the week.
and she went to Jordan and asked if there's anything that she thinks that they should be doing for TJ and Molly. And I like Jordan, where she's just like, no, they have to figure this out on their own. They're either going to get through this together or separately. And either way, we can be here for them, but we can't
Right.
make them go through this.
Right.
So,
And
and I guess Rick had asked Molly to go to dinner and she was like, no, I already have plans. And he's like, oh, are you having dinner with your mom? And she said, no, she's actually having dinner with Christina at the Port Charles Grill. So Rick thought it was a great idea for he and Ava to go to the Port Charles Grill and have kind of a flirty dinner.
Yeah, which is gross. Again, you've already been with his brother, have a baby with his brother. Can you please stop?
And then basically, Christina showed up and reacted to Rick saying she is the one responsible for her daughter's death. Ooh, and when she was, oh, because he was like, "Hey, Christine, I hope you're doing well." And she's like, "I'd be doing better if I was home with my daughter." He's like, "Oh, don't you mean the daughter that you were having for Molly and TJ? Isn't that what the, write-up was or whatever?" And she's like, "Wow, you know a lot for an absentee dad."
That was great.
And he goaded her on and um
I know she's
she
emotional, but
smacking
he
the
knows that.
glass out of his hand. That would not have cut his lip.
No,
The
no,
glass was not broken in his mouth.
nope, nope.
So,
Mm-mm.
and then
I
Alexis showed up and is like, Christina, you are literally doing everything that he wants you to do because they now have an entire restaurant full of people to show you were yelling. And I guarantee in this day and age, someone was videotaping it the second that her
oh,
voice got loud.
I'm sure.
So,
I liked that. So later on, we see the Davis girls all together for Sam to tell them about the fact that she's the donor for Lulu, and the girls are going at it again. And finally, after Sam like storms out, Alexis is like, "You guys need to stop. Like, come on, you should be consoling each other, or at least decide to put the family first because you're ruining everything." Blah 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 blah. And I was glad that she finally put her foot down to them and was like, "Knock it off." But I also don't think that anyone is going to hold the fact that Christina is emotional towards Rick and Ava because Ava killed her baby. Like,
great.
I understand what they're saying about in court she has to be able to testify without being emotional about the testimony, but I don't think that she shouldn't be emotional. Like, whether you're looking at it as her daughter or her niece, that baby is not here, and she views it as Ava's fault.
And TJ and Molly agree on that. They
Right,
agree that Christina was way out of line and shouldn't have done what she did, that, she should not have gone to Ava's room. But Ava is the reason why their daughter's not there because Christina
right,
didn't throw herself out of the, all in all, they recognize that yes, Christina played a part, but it's really Ava.
right.
So, and they are finally on the same page.
Yes.
Yay.
We'll see for how long.
Yeah.
All right, then there's just Lucky finally,
On Friday.
and he like thinks that Liz is there for him, and she's like, "No, I mean, I wanted to tell you the good news, but I'm actually here for someone else." And I like that she was like, "My rates are a little higher now. I'm at $20, but I'm still gonna raid the fridge." That was
Right?
cute.
Yep.
And
So
then
she
they
was
start,
watching Ace.
yes, yes, watching Ace, and she called him little, and Lucky's not. I said he's not that little, right? And she was like, "Well, yeah, no, but I just remember when our kid was that little and cute." And she talked about him singing and how she knew that came from Lucky because she can't sing at all. And then as they went to leave, he brought up, "Oh, remember whenever we did the nurses ball? Like that was okay." And she was like, "No, don't talk about that. I could not sing then either."
She said that she would, because he asked about if he studied music, and she said no, baking kind of replaced music once he got into it. And she's like, but I don't know where that came from because, I'm not a baker, and it's not like he'd be with Audrey and just baking up a storm and came home. But she was like, why don't you talk to Aiden about music? And then he said he was going to call a ride share, and she said, well, I'll just drive you and you can serenade me like you used to.
Yes, yes,
And then he mentioned the jailhouse rock.
yes.
You know what would have been perfect is if he had even just like sung Elizabeth, like just
Yep, yep. Mm.
they're gonna get back together.
I really hope so, because if they're giving us all this crap and they don't at least give us that little bit of goodness, I am seriously going to be angry.
But if they do it, it has to be for good. It
Oh,
cannot be
right.
the past again.
No, no. It has to be for good. I agree. But I'm telling you, if they mess them up again, my side of this podcast may just be the past of General Hospital. I will no longer talk about anything moving forward because I will be so mad.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I
But
think that might have been it though.
yeah, seeing him was a perfect. I mean, they then showed up at the hospital, and that was whenever you saw Laura talking to Terry or whatever. But still, just seeing him and Liz
Yeah,
together.
there's a complication.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, those are.
Well, it was nice to see that he finally got a shower.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's used to it, but dang.
Right. Everybody else isn't. Please take a shower.
Right. I was just thinking, like, man, they love him because they weren't even like, dude, you've been here for 3 days now. Like,
Exactly.
can you
Here.
please take a half hour
So.
and go bathe? Okay, I do think that is everything.
Reality check. So, what exciting happened this week for you?
No, that was last week, or that's this upcoming week. Not a whole lot. I have a very busy week coming up, so I tried to not do too much this week, other than, everything else that I do.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, it was just basic like work. I mean, I think I shared that we got a letter from my daughter's attorney. Oh no, actually, I don't think I shared that. I shared that we got the letter that you said that it sounded like things were approved. We actually got the letter from our attorney saying that it was approved and that we just needed to they were going to be in touch with, one extra step, and we actually did that on Wednesday morning. So,
Yay.
so we'll see. It's going to take a little while to still get all worked out, and just trying to get things in place. And I mean, I really should switch work and go work for either the state or one of these organizations that you get paid if you don't respond to someone's email for a month and a half.
I think I want that job. I could do that job. I can ignore
And
people with the best of them.
and then you get to make them feel like such jerks for checking in and being upset about the fact that they've had to check in. So that's great. Um, and then we threw a surprise party for my friend and manager last night, and she was surprised. So
Oh, good.
that was nice. I was really wondering if she was, but she definitely was. So
Good.
that was nice. I guess it was just a nice week. How about you?
Good. It was a kid week, which is good. Like, it was a nice distraction from everything. Madeline's cheer practices are over. They just have a few more games depending on if they make it. Right now it looks like they'll make it to the championship. Obviously don't know if they'll make it to like the Super Bowl or the semifinals, whatever. They'll make it to the semifinals. We'll see if they make it to the championship. But anyway, since they're done with practice the last day, then they do a powder puff game. So Madeline and her friends, and I'm not saying the girls cannot play football. I have a niece that is little and plays football, and it's adorable, and she absolutely is as good as the boys. But these girls are 100% the stereotypical cheerleaders, and they all do dance together and whatever. And so watching them try to understand how to run football plays was hysterical. And these coaches are like using real football team or real football terms, and they're all looking at him like they've never attended a football game before in their life, because they just pay attention to they scored the goal and they do their cute little cheer, and there you go. And
Wow.
it was really funny. It was just like a flag football kind of thing, but still it was really funny. And you could definitely tell which girls had like older brothers that had played football because they were intense. And then there was the girls like Madeline and her close friends that just were all about, take a picture of me in my jersey. Look how cute. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like mad that we would not buy them brand new cleats for one game because they wanted pink ones. And instead they had to borrow their brothers or she borrowed one from the little boy that I used to babysit because he's not little anymore. And so it was cute just to see like how girly they were all about it. So but they had fun, and it was cute or whatever. And then it was also observation week at dance, because since COVID they don't let you go in and watch them in practice anymore, except for special days. So this week was the week that we got to go in and watch them, and so that was cute just seeing.
Wow.
She runs around the house doing half the dances anyway, so it was nice to see like the other side of it, because she'll like do her half and then be like, so and so does this and this, and you're like, I cannot picture how this all works together. So seeing them all get to do it was really cute. So it was a nice reminder after all the drama that I've been whining about for the past 2 weeks to see like this is the focal point, all about Madeline. So it was nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, we'll be more upbeat on Thursday when we share more about Lucky and Liz.
Yes, and hopefully next week won't be such a downer in so many ways that we can be a little more happy about it.
I know. I hate the weeks that we wind up, I feel like we complain most of it, but this was warranted.
They gave us too much. We had Sasha, we had definitely the fact that Finn was leaving. We had, here's like Lulu's donor that's been standing here the entire time. Like, come on.
Right.
But they gave us our Lucky, and so I guess that made up for it somewhat. But anyway, have a good week. Bit. Yes. Have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier. Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.